President Trump's Attorney General William Barr speaking out about the 2020 presidential election, telling the Associated Press, quote, "To date, we have not seen fraud on a scale that could have affected a different outcome in the election," end quote. Barr's comments left some conservatives fuming. Lou Dobbs even blasting the Attorney General over his remarks. Listen.
He is either a liar or a fool or both. He may be perhaps compromised. He may be simply unprincipled.
Joining us now to discuss is Wayne Allyn Root, author of Trump Rules and host of the Wayne Allyn Root Show, Raw and Unfiltered. Good to see you. Thanks so much for coming on. What do you make of the Associated Press, their report there with the Attorney General Bill Barr saying there's no evidence of widespread fraud that would overchange the outcome of the election to date?
Well, you know, he reminds me of Sergeant Schultz of Hogan's Heroes. I see nothing. I know nothing. I've heard nothing. It's ridiculous. It's ludicrous, Shaun. Here's the deal. I'm from Vegas, and I've lived in Vegas for 20 years, and I'm a sports bettor, and I bet thousands of dollars on games. And, you know, this is a rigged game. This reminds me of a rigged football game. If you watch the Monday night game between the Philadelphia Eagles this past Monday, a couple nights ago, Philadelphia and Seattle, can you imagine if after the game was over, they kept counting in Philadelphia, and they said Philadelphia didn't lose? They actually added 20 points after the game and said they won. That's what just happened here. President Trump won the election everywhere in the country, except in 4 states where they stopped counting. Philadelphia for Pennsylvania, Atlanta for Georgia, Milwaukee for Wisconsin, Detroit for Michigan. They kept it open. They kept bringing in ballots, and suddenly he was behind. And you're asking me to believe that it's not a rigged game. You had no security, no election security, no ballot security, no cameras rolling. Trucks are pulling up in the middle of the night. Bags of ballots are being brought in, and there's no security verifying it and no Republican witnesses in the room. And when you wake up the next morning, suddenly Trump was ahead by 300,000. Trump was ahead by 700,000. Trump was ahead by 100,000. Suddenly he's behind. And you want me, a Vegas guy, to believe that this is on the up and up. Anyone who says it's on the up and up is blind, deaf, and dumb.
Let me ask you about this next point about the Attorney General, Bill Barr appointing John Durham as special counsel to keep investigating the origins of a new administration, talking about the origins of the Russia collusion hoax. Barr sent a letter to Congress explaining why he hasn't seen anything from Durham just yet, saying this in part: "I had expected Mr. Durham to complete his work by the summer of 2020. The COVID-19 pandemic, as well as additional information he uncovered, prevented him from doing so." What kind of new evidence could there be? How do you read this?
I read it as 3-card Monty. I'm not just from Vegas. I'm from New York, born and raised in New York. And this reminds me of the guys who play 3-card Monty on the streets of New York. Barr comes out on the very day that USPS, United States Postal Service drivers, come forward from all over the country saying they drove hundreds of thousands of ballots from New York to Pennsylvania and other states, cross state lines, committed God knows how many crimes with fake ballots or pre-drawn ballots just for Biden. And he comes out on that very day, Attorney General Barr, and says, well, I don't see any evidence of fraud. And oh, by the way, let's bring up the Durham investigation again. You know, when the election is over and everybody's forgotten about it and Biden's the president of the United States, suddenly Durham will come forward and say, I found no evidence of anything bad and nobody gets indicted and everything's great. 3-card Monty, a distraction.
Wayne Allyn Root coming on live, joining us. Wayne Allyn Root, good to see you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Newsmax TV is now America's fastest growing cable news channel. We give you the real news you need. So subscribe to our YouTube channel and give us a thumbs up. If you like this video, share it with your friends. Newsmax TV streams live on YouTube for free. Newsmax TV, real news for real people.